So welcome to my Starbase museum. Oh boy, there's a lot to fit on here, and the pro and con of these ships from Diamond Select. The pro is they're huge, they're wonderful, they're chunky, they've got wonderful noises, they've got wonderful sounds. Playmates one. This is Playmates, but we'll get to that. The bad news. They're chunky. They take up a lot of space. They barely fit in that cabinet. It's why I have to fit two of them on top of the cabinet. It's actually need to transfer these to shelves. And I need an extra set of shelves to do that with, but we're working on that. Anyhow, let's get started with this cabinet. And it's going to be a little awkward, but we're going to do everything we can here to get everything in, plus lights and all of that. So I'm going to maneuver some stuff out of the road and reintroduce them back into frame when it's time to do so. But first, we're going to start with the good old NX-01 Enterprise. I'm going to take it off of the base. You may notice with a bunch of these things, and I do have quite a few, and we'll be going over them, a lot of them don't have their bases like this. The reason being, these bases are absolutely horrible. For display, they're great, but this plastic is incredibly brittle. And in order to pose them, they flex a lot. And then they use this little ball to mount in this area here, and it's just not ideal, and they busted. Several of these have busted, especially with the heavy Enterprise D, which I will show you momentarily. We'll go in order. We'll go in Enterprise order that I have here. So anyway, so this is the wonderful Enterprise NX-01. It's got some wonderful lights and sounds. As you can see, the buzzard collectors, they light up for the most part. This one's a little finicky over here. And they've got some really great warp nacelles that light up. I don't think this one has impulse engines that light up. No. The impulse engines do not light up. But the deflector dish does light up. You can see the little bulb in there. And you can see the bleed, too. The Enterprise A shares that as well. But yeah, so the nacelles light up with one little bulb in the back. And then they light up with one little bulb. in each bustard collector. And this one, because it's not very heavy, does fit right in there. And it's incredibly posable. Well, incredibly. It's pretty posable. Here comes the A. Everyone's second favorite. It didn't get as much screen time as it deserved, to be honest with you. And the movie that it was in a lot, 5, it's not my favorite movie. But this is a wonderful representation. Diamond Select did a wonderful job when it was making these ships. And
What's the matter, Jim? I miss my old chair.
Let's see. I wonder, does this one light up or does it just go through all the talkies? Okay, it does light up. Some of them, when you press long, they light up. Some of them just go through all their motions. See the beautiful blue sensor dish there. The nacelles do light up. The impulse crystal lights up, and the bridge. The back of the bridge actually lights up.
My friends, we've come home.
And so do the impulse engines.
What's the matter, Jim? I miss my old chair.
Unfortunately, though, those impulse engines are supposed to be red, and they are not.
Engine room, we'll need all the power you can muster, mister.
A lot of these sounds do come from 5, I think.
Let's see what she's got.
At the end of 4. Yeah.
Kirk just got me. Lower shields.
And also, I don't know if you've noticed this listening to it, but
As captain, I am responsible for the conduct of the crew under my command.
they sound like the tone has gone down. And these are fresh batteries, by the way. So the voice chip in here just sounds horrible.
Send to Commander Enterprise. We stand ready to assist you. Captain Zulu, USS Excelsior.
With George Takei, you can't tell because his voice is low anyway. But the tone, it's like a lower tone, and it just doesn't sound very good. But the lights with a deflector dish and
Starfleet is screaming for us to return to port.
And the Aztecing and the bridge. I mean, it's just...
We must respond personally. A universal translator will be recognized.
So you've got a mixture of 4, 5, and 6 when it comes to all of the voices. Yeah, my only nitpick with this one is...
Captain, she's packing quite a wallop. She's weakening.
Is that the impulse engines are not red. But, you get the wonderful observation deck back here that lights up. You get the impulse crystal that lights up. It is a really wonderful representation of the Enterprise A. Okay, now we get to try... we get to try to fit this bad boy into the shot here. This is, of course, the Enterprise D. It is the future Enterprise D. Third nacelle, horns, and unlatch. There we go. It's heavy. It's awkward. And then we've got this beautiful, huge assault phaser in the front. It's beautiful. It's big. It's awkward. It's front heavy. It's got wonderful sounds. They did the Enterprise D right. They really did. And then got the deflector dish up here. Come on. Yeah. And then you've got the funny impulse engines that are up here. There we go. Try again. There we go. Yeah, I mean, it's just a beautiful representation of the Enterprise D from the episode All Good Things, which was the last of the season. What's also really nice, you get a nice saucer separation, and it is a magnet. And then it just clips right back in, and then you hear... That's the noise that it made when, in the first season, actually, when the saucer separation came back together. It's hit or miss now, nowadays. There we go. Yeah, it's showing its age, unfortunately. But it's definitely really cool. And then because of how heavy it is, it's got 3 points. So this is for the front saucer. This is for the rear of the rear star drive. It is just so heavy and awkward and front heavy. So I had to buy this because both pieces broke. So we'll take a look at this here next. As you can see, it actually says the Dreadnought variant down there from All Good Things from the final episode. It's actually really nice because you can see the clips back here in the back, if I can maneuver that correctly. And this is so awkward to hold up. I got to flip it around. There we go. Oh. And then it just slides into the thin part where the nacelles connect to the secondary hull. More or less. Let me see here. Come on in. There we go. There you go. See? Just slides right back in there. And then it kind of supports itself by its own weight. And there's enough around here at the bottom to keep it from tipping over. It's a wonderful piece. Okay, so I'm going to talk about one of my favorite pieces, but also right now one of the most disappointing. There appears to be an electrical fault in my Star Trek IV The Voyage Home bird of prey. And those feet come off and the battery fills under there. There's no indication of an issue or any battery leakage, but you can kind of see when I press the button, the light does come on a little bit. That's the torpedo launcher. And then here in the back, that's the impulse engines. And warp drive, probably. And then it's supposed to have little green disruptor fire coming out of here. So, unfortunately, it's a little disappointing that it seems to have an electrical fault. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with the battery compartment. The battery compartment's in great shape. But anyway, you've got two bottoms with this. You've got this one where it lands, and if you can see here, HMS Bounty, which is what they spray painted on the side of it. So, hey, quick update. I put in some rechargeable batteries, and... All
right, Mr. Zulu, let's see what you got.
It works! It works! Let's lift this up and take a look at it real quick here. Let's do the torpedo. And then what's really cool is I think that these disruptors are awesome.
Engage cloaking device, Mr. Checker.
And then you get a little light show up here. And up here. Isn't that something? And then in the back, you get your...
Everybody remember where we parked.
It's why I'm glad this works, because I think the voice chip in this one
Double dumbass on you.
is the best voice chip. That's them beaming the whales in, actually. See?
There'll be whales here.
There's even some great... It's just so cool. I mean, it's a beautiful ship anyway.
My friends, we've come home.
This is such a cool ship. Let me see if it's got a light on. I think it does. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm so glad that this works. Look how gorgeous. It's just an amazingly wonderful representation of a Klingon bird of prey. It just is. And I have another one that's from 6 that we'll be doing here probably in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, How cool is that? Just thought I would do a quick update that I got batteries that actually worked. That's so awesome. Say hello to the USS Defiant. Look at this big, chunky, wonderful, beautiful thing. Absolutely fantastic. I love it. It's got a wonderful base that actually snaps on and off. Like, you just press that, and then it just comes right off. How fantastic is that? For some reason, the front area here, maybe that was a feature that they had planned on prior to dropping the show, but for some reason, that goes up and down like that. It's very strange. It's got several sounds. I think that's... No, that's red alert. The lights aren't as fantastic as... which is unfortunate, but... Yeah, I mean, it only really has one set of lights on it, which is the front up here. That's it cloaking. Let's see. Okay, that's red alert. I'm not quite sure what that is. Cloaking. Well, that's the pulse phasers. That must be a torpedo firing. But it's just big, chunky Playmates. Bright, wonderfully colored, wonderfully detailed. All the screw holes in the, on the bottom. Battery compartment here. And like I said, it just fits on this so wonderfully. You just put the back on here, and then you flip the switch up, and then it just clips right in. And it's even at a wonderful angle. So we've got some really cool set of figures here. Here is Spock and Kirk from the motion picture. And they look absolutely fantastic. Let me zoom. Boop. Yes, there we go. I'm going to hit that Enterprise a couple of times. But yes, look. They've got a wrist communicator and a hand phaser that apparently they get to fight over. So that is Kirk in his Admiral uniform, and then Captain Spock right there. So I have always loved these uniforms. I thought that they looked so fantastic. It's so funny that they were so quick to change, and nobody really questioned it to start with. At least, well, this is all before the internet, so there wasn't really anyone to question anything. So here we have another disappointment. Let's talk about this disappointment. We could have had them. I mean, we could have Courage and his first officer here. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Who wouldn't want a John Larroquette as a Klingon doll? I mean, come on. Who wouldn't? And they would have been so fantastic, but unfortunately, we missed out on that. They did not release it. They had concepts that they put out. I think they were actually at one Comic-Con somewhere where they were showing the concepts, but they never released them, and that is such a bummer. Otherwise, look at the retro figures. Look at the mini-mates. Blah. Don't like mini-mates. Anyway. So here is Kirk and Spock from the motion picture. So to go along with the HMS Bounty, here is Spock and Kirk from the Voyage Home. How cool is that? So I guess, thinking about it and looking at it, I guess the phaser that they used, the Type 1 phaser that they used, wasn't supposed to be Klingon. It was supposed to be the Type 1 phaser from the top of the Type 2. I'm shooting in the dark here. I'm not exactly sure. But this is another one of those uniforms that I thought was really cool. Or outfit. Actually, this is just an outfit. It's just a jacket with a wonderfully pleated blouse. Those pants, that belt. And then you've got Spock over here. Gracie is pregnant. So, and then on the back, here's something else that's really funny. That Kirk and Bones was put out, but we did not get a Nurse Chapel, nor did we get a Yeoman Rand. What's that all about? We did get a 3-pack of them, but that is Spock in the pilot, the cage. So that's really strange. And then, hey, I showed you these guys, Ultimate Quarter Scale figures. Yeah, they're on the top of my shelf. I've got communicators. I don't have an electronic triple. I think I'll miss the electronic triple. And then the Enterprise D, which, hey, that will be coming up here pretty soon as well. But anyway, Spock and Kirk from the voyage home. So here's the baby, and that's the mama bird of prey, and this is the baby bird of prey. This is from Hot Wheels, and is supposed to be the companion, I do believe, for the Enterprise D that is beat up, that's on my shelf, with all of the battle damage and whatnot. Not really much to say about it. I mean, it's great. It's a beautiful representation. The wings go up, wings go into the middle, and then the wings do attack position. Now, here's a really weird one. This is a fine pewter figure from Star Trek Champions. NCC 1701 from the motion picture. Now, I'm going to open this. I've had it open before and had it on display, but... So let me tell you the problem with pewter, which I have fixed. I actually fixed it. These nacelles, because of how thin that was and how heavy the nacelles are, they bent. They were bent very badly when I first bought this. And here's the other problem. Spot the difference. The A is not from the motion picture.
NCC 1701. No bloody A, B, C, or D.
But I'll tell you what, this is a beautiful representation. I think that when it sets here, that's pretty cool. And it is pewter. Like I said, it just, yeah, the nacelles just were bent all to you know where. And it took some straightening and some hope that it wouldn't bust off, because I can't imagine trying to reconnect these things. They're just so small and so fragile. And then this, I don't know why that doesn't set on the, it's, and look how, you know, it's heavy in the front. So there's a lot going on here. But yeah, so that is supposed to be the NCC 1701 from the motion picture, but we're actually getting the NCC 1701A for some reason. So last but not least, here's the bird of prey from Star Trek III: The Search for Spock. And this served both in Star Trek III and Star Trek IV as one of the main ships, because that's what they used in Star Trek IV to get home. Let's take this out of the box. So here you have, and you can kind of see how it is bent itself, because pewter is very, very bendable and very, very easily broken. But the casting on it is just gorgeous. Every line, every detail. Torpedo tube, the disruptors, everything. But yeah, like I said, unfortunately, it is pewter, so it does bend very easily. Also, something I didn't mention, but I'm going to show it now. We got these certificates of authenticity. So for the bird of prey, that's 5027, and for the Enterprise, it's over 5,000. No, it's actually just at 5,000. So these are numbered and they are collectible. Pretty neat. We'll put... I love the background of this one. This one's really cool. Engage cloaking device, which I don't think he really ever says. So yeah, look at that. You kind of shift it around depending on how you want to pose it. It's a cool little plastic stand. Oh, look at the back. I guess I never noticed that before. There's the poster on the back. That's too bad. Seems like you would want that on a display stand that revolves. The date on that. 1998, Paramount Pictures. Very cool. Very cool. Let's take a look at this one real quick. Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's a cool find. What a cool find. Well, I mean, since we are ditching the boxes on these, I guess we don't really have to clean those up. But boy, the rest of these are so dusty. Let's get a rag on them and get them cleaned up.